My name is Joe Soonthornsawad. I'm a first-year master's student in the School of Information. I'm going to share a little bit about how I went from studying anthropology to studying information. I came to anthropology as a discipline because I was really interested in finding these deep ways to study the things I cared about. I was really interested in understanding my ethnic background as a child of immigrants more, and I was really interested in studying the things we bought in consumerism and marketing and how that could be a way to understand our society. Using these methods like ethnography and interviewing give us these structured ways to study people and cultures. By asking questions and really deeply listening to what people care about, to observing people in their context and understanding their beliefs and practices. And so I was really excited about this work, and I was really excited about studying marketing as an anthropologist. And when I did my thesis fieldwork in Thailand, I really got into this question of how Thai youth were using social media to talk about brands and translate them for their own purposes. But what I found out is that anthropology couldn't answer all of my questions. I took all my field notes at the end of this process, and I looked at the interviews. I looked at what they were doing on social media, and I looked at the pictures they were taking, but I found out through that process that there was something missing. I understood what people believed in, and I understood something of their activities, but I didn't really understand the full picture of how this all worked on social media. And I just had this feeling that there was something lacking. And after this process, I wrote a thesis I was proud of, but I really realized then that I needed a new way of thinking. And so I sort of had to make a shift. I went from someone who was interested in pursuing a PhD in anthropology to someone who was intellectually curious, but not really knowing where to take that. And so after college, this question was tumbling around in my head, like, how can I study people online? And so the perfect opportunity one day came to me. I was working in New York. I got connected to someone named Vince who owned a company called Italia. And this company sells Italian specialty foods online. And I thought that was really interesting, and so we started talking, and Vince said that he had some business problems. He wanted to know about how his customers were behaving online and how he could attract more new customers, because the business really relied on a reliable set of people to come continue buying. I was hired as the digital marketing manager, and I got to work. And I realized that we didn't know a lot about our customer, and so I looked at it like an anthropologist. I started looking at how are people coming to the website and what motivates them to buy from us instead of a regular retailer? What do they care about when it comes to Italian food? How do they cook? And so through that process, I really realized that we needed to change our marketing strategy, but there was still something missing. So we made these changes. The brand was better suited to our customer, but we didn't really know a lot about how they were behaving online. And so this is sort of where that curiosity from my thesis came in. And so I had this opportunity to channel my interest into looking into this question. And what we found out was something interesting. We found out that while people were coming to our website because we had great search results, they were leaving quite early. And I also started to wonder about these other things that were going on. Like, how was it possible that people were spending so much time on our email but not purchasing? Through making these changes to our website and our email, we actually were able to turn around the business, and we made a 17% increase in revenue that year. And so apart from that being a huge success, I sort of, as the anthropology student, took a step back and I tried to figure out what was going on. And I realized that I was finally finding these structured ways to look at people in terms of technology. I was using digital tools to be able to understand user behavior. And I was looking at the ways in which designs could impact people's behavior online. And so that curiosity eventually took me here to the School of Information. Now here, I've really tried to make my focus on studying computational social science and social computing. And for me, what that means is understanding how people behave online using their data, using the interfaces they interact with, and trying to create better experiences for people. So right now I work as a research assistant for Professor Libby Hemphill, and she studies how online harassment takes place on social media. And we're looking at together how comments are labeled by moderators and how their background might influence the ways that they're making judgments about the hostility of comments. And I'm finally making these connections between my anthropology background and this new field of information. Whereas before I was really looking at how people were talking about brands, now I'm looking at the ways in which brands are collecting information about people, using that to structure their experience, and finally creating something that influences people's behavior. And so overall, really what I've discovered from coming to the School of Information, from having these eclectic experiences from anthropology to working in the food industry, is that really the tools of anthropology and the humanities give us these powerful ways to study the online world. And I think what I really like about the School of Information is that it's very accepting of scholars from all different backgrounds. And it gives us the tools we need to really do strong work in digital society and cultures.